With build 42 unstable comes a ton of combat changes. As many have found out, muscle strain sets in incredibly fast. But there's a handful of other changes that significantly increase the difficulty of the default Apocalypse setting. From changes to loot, zombies, and even louder combat sounds, things have gotten harder once you take in the full picture. I'll say this right at the beginning. You can still make a powerful character for combat on day 1 if you know how to fight efficiently. Any of the builds that start with 2 or 3 in a weapon skill and 9 to 10 strength start off worrying about stamina more than strain. Lightweight weapons matter a ton too. This is a knowledge and combat technique issue more than a bad design issue. I find the new zombie population map and the default pinpoint hearing zombies to be more difficult, but I am a veteran player who is willing to completely change my playstyle for the lulz. Everyone hates new things. Give it time. Before I get into muscle strain, I'll try to quickly cover the other changes, starting with the zombies. In the vanilla Apocalypse setting for build 41, the zombies are all fast shamblers with normal hearing and eyesight. In build 42, these 3 settings are set to random. Note, sprinters have their own spawn amount setting, so they do not spawn even though it's set to random. Some zombies have pinpoint hearing and or eagle eyes. This does make Zomboid more difficult on its own, but I've played with these settings before on fast shamblers and it's not that bad. Just don't shoot guns, right? Here I am getting chased out of Riverside by an endless stream of shamblers. What's going on? Well, it's the combat sounds. As you would expect, hitting and killing zombies makes noise. In build 41 and 42, this noise has an 8-tile radius. However, there's another noise I've found occasionally happening when you hit zombies in 42, which is louder. I don't know what is triggering it, that will require more testing. What I do know is that it's between the volume of a normal hit and a shout. This turns into a real problem when you mix in pinpoint hearing and mixed speed zombies. You end up with this constant stream of stragglers, which force you to either leave or keep fighting them, generating more noise. Some of the zombies are slow shamblers that take forever to arrive, just enough time for some more zombies to wander within range to hear you fighting and restart the loop. Then you finally get inside your target building and there's less useful loot than you're used to. The amount of loot didn't change in most cases, it has been diluted by the amount of additional content added into the game. Much of it is base materials that need to be crafted into useful items. Alright, let's level up our crafting skills to use that loot. Here is the Rosewood School Library in build 41. Most shelves have several skill books. Now here it is again in build 42. Not only is the amount of books per shelf reduced, but it's mostly normal books rather than skill or recipe books. There's an occasional shelf full of skill books like before, which leads me to believe it's the loot table getting diluted with new spawning options rather than a direct nerf to the amount of books that spawn. You'll need to go to more places or more populated places to acquire the loot you want, which means fighting even more zombies. Zombies you can't constantly fight because of the new muscle strain mechanic. Here are the things I've found that cause muscle strain. Various non-combat actions such as tailoring, which is clearly bugged, and chopping trees. Any combat actions, swinging your weapon, pushing, and stomping all cause strain. Heavier weapons cause more strain. Even shooting a gun causes strain. Exercising causes delayed muscle strain, and it appears to be a bit buggy, so I'd avoid fighting while experiencing strain from exercising until it gets patched. Climbing fences and sheet ropes are very costly. A single tall fence jump is equivalent to several kills or more depending on your levels. Going down a sheet rope, less so. Finally, carrying too much weight strains your torso. Note that dragging bodies strains your stamina, but does not cause muscle strain. Muscle strain reduces your damage in combat and causes pain. Too much pain does all sorts of things that you want to avoid. I will point out that it's only muscle strain on your arms that reduces your swing damage, and strain on your leg does not appear to reduce your stomp damage. Going from 100 strain to 0 takes about 7 hours in game. But I will warn you, your character begins to feel useless in combat far before you reach max strain. By the time it turns red on your health panel, you need to be planning a break. From the moment muscle strain turns red, you need to wait an hour and a half for it to hit 0. When I say wait, I mean you stop doing things that generate muscle strain, not that you actually have to sit around waiting. How can we avoid building up muscle strain? Using a lighter weapon is the easiest choice. Keeping a sharp weapon sharp is next on the list. Every unnecessary swing matters at low levels. From here on, it is building your character for combat. Both strength and weapon skill level reduce the amount of muscle strain generated. Strength reduces pushes, stomps, swings, and shooting. It also helps with things like climbing. Weapon skills only cover the respective weapon type. By the time you have 10 strength and 10 in the weapon skill of your choice, you are back to build 41 zombie slayer status. It's only at low strength and weapon skill that your character is exponentially worse at combat. Default strength is 5, and reducing your strength below that increases the amount of muscle strain you experience. Going from 5 strength to 10 strength is about a 50% reduction in muscle strain for everything you do. 10% per level feels pretty good. Weapon skill reduces muscle strain less per level compared to strength, but it more than makes up for it in attack speed, crit, and damage boost. Less swings per kill is a reduction on its own after all. You also get to level it 10 times, so it's overall better. Now obviously, everyone starts with low weapon skill, so there will always be a period of time where you have to be careful about the amount of zombies you fight while leveling up. You need to be hyper aware that fighting will draw in zombies from much farther than you are used to, and you will have to leave the area when necessary. In build 41, you can stick around your spawn house. In build 42, you can easily get chased off. This is where stealth comes in. Yeah, your character may have no stealth ability, but a single car or short wood fence can allow you to leave an area with no hassle at all. I'll do a deep dive into stealth later, but for now you need to know that cars completely block zombie vision, even when you are standing. And short fences block vision as long as you are crouched next to them. This is the new expert tier knowledge when it comes to fighting. Know your exits. Also be aware it could be changed in future patches. That being said, there's a lot of min-maxing that can take place. Since every swing strains your arms, you can mix in stomps to spread that muscle strain out more evenly. Pushing zombies down at low strength levels is nerfed due to pushing causing strain. Knocking zombies down can be worth it for nearly free one-hit kills, and the ability to mix in a stomp. Fences and windows are top tier since they knock zombies down at no cost, other than risk of getting launched. In fact, the risk to reward ratio is way out of whack right now. In early game, fencing zombies might as well be build 41. Beware, min-maxing your amount of swings will reduce the experience you gain in the weapon skill, trading easy kills for a longer time leveling up. Armor is incredibly good. While you may not be as good at combat day 1, you can always gear up to survive a mistake. There's a lot of new armor, starting with magazines and duct tape to suits of plate mail. Even lowly wood armor mixed with some other pieces for full coverage can protect you from several attacks in a row. Much of it isn't immediately ripped to shreds, so it lasts quite a while. The plate metal armor can shrug off blows without becoming damaged and lasts a very long time. I'd tell you to befriend the local blacksmith or welder, but build 42 doesn't have multiplayer yet. Remember that your armor doesn't protect you from getting dragged down. Don't become canned meat. You've been watching a construction worker with strong and athletic bashing skulls for a while now. Yes, that's a rock you can pick up off the ground. Any lightweight weapon is a good choice. A wrench weighs the same while being a better weapon. I'm showing this as proof that you can still make a powerful character on day 1. A build like this, when played well, spends more time resting for stamina than it does waiting for muscle strain to wear off. That was pre-muscle strain nerf, and I took athletics so that I'd regen stamina faster. It does not take long to scale into a proper zombie slayer if you make a build dedicated to it. Build 42 just came out, and misinformation is rampant. This is the perfect time for criticism if you take the time to be informed. For example, I can't find a way to see if you have finished resting anymore, which is very relevant considering everyone seems to be permanently exhausted now, which is probably why they suck at fighting. Managing the Moodles is much harder with the increased pop around important places and pinpoint hearing zombies coming out of the woodwork. In build 41, there was a little bar over your head, and when that lied, you could at least rely on the right click to rest option, which would disappear once your stamina was full. If you had something to rest on, that is. Now that the rest option is used to sit on things, it never goes away. They clearly need to add a new way to see when you are done resting. Modders agree with this, and have already provided 2 ways to see when you are fully rested. Hopefully something is done for those who don't want to run mods. There's also a bit of struggle when sitting in chairs since you can't look around, which is dangerous. I recommend sitting on the ground. My laser calibrated eyeballs and Twitch chat agree that it regenerates stamina at the same or close enough rate as resting, while giving you the ability to look around. Maybe the feature that lets you look around while sitting in a car can be applied here. As for my opinion on muscle strain, I think it's good as is. No need for an immediate nerf, since so many other systems are interacting with it and most players have not grown used to all the new mechanics in the first place. They nerfed it. I think any character who starts with strength levels will be able to mostly ignore it at this point. There's a progression issue due to muscle strain forcing you into whatever weapon type you have already leveled up. It feels bad to pick up different weapons and be right back to the day 1 muscle strain struggle, which isn't as bad as it was before, but still a factor if you spend no trait points on a weapon skill or additional strength. You'll probably realize the need for a flashlight when the power goes out. That's a slight problem for two-handed weapon enjoyers. I found a single hands-free way to use the flashlight so far, and it's rather rare unless you find a source of military zombies. New players are not going to hunt down some military zombies early. Other games let you throw a light source on the ground to deal with such issues. Back on the topic of progression, while you can level up your strength to gain a sweeping benefit, you can also start with max strength and feel no wide-ranging progression to your combat at all. It definitely needs some work. I think they need to add more knobs to pull, rather than purely nerf it. I have 2 hands, and I can grab the weapon skill and the strength knobs without having to make a choice. It's too simple. I'd love to see the benefit spread out to more actions. Things like regularly exercising, improving recovery speed, and eating balanced healthy meals for several days in a row, reducing the gain of muscle strain, and increasing the speed you recover from all injuries, including strain. It should work the other way around too. Bad food equals more bad outcomes. Vintage Story pegs the amount of HP your character has on their diet. It's effective at making you focus on varied foods when possible, while making immersive stories such as being weak due to poor nutrition during your first winter actually occur in-game rather than in your head. That's all for me today.